Love has many ways of happening. One thing almost everyone agrees on, it always arises in the most unexpected way possible. The story we are about to see brings us a surprising ending. On the outskirts of the quiet village of Bromont, where the golden rays of the sun covered the green hills, there was a large castle, home to the respected Lord Carlos Silva. Known for his importance and prestige, the Lord, with striking eyes and polite manners, was a figure who inspired admiration and respect wherever he went. However, it was on a spring afternoon, when the fields were in bloom and the birds were singing, that the destinies of Lord Carlos and the beautiful village resident, Ana Souza, crossed paths. Ana, with beautiful hair and eyes that reflected the purity of the clear waters of the local stream, was a rare flower, growing amidst the hardships of life in the countryside. Her simple home, where she lived with her elderly mother, was her world, full of simplicity and love. It was during one of his horseback rides that Lord Carlos saw the graceful figure of Ana, picking flowers in the field. His heart, usually calm like the waters of a lake, was swept by a wave of emotions. He was enchanted by the beauty of the young woman, whose smile was as bright as the sun that illuminated the fields. However, he was not used to asking for the affection of women, as they always responded to his advances. He always won them over easily, thanks to his charms as a powerful, young, and handsome man. Determined to win Anna's heart, the Lord used all his skill and charm. "Good afternoon, miss. Allow me to say that the beauty of the field has never been so well represented as it is by your presence." She, surprised by the compliment from such an important man, replied cautiously, "Oh, sir, you are very kind. But your kindness should not be wasted on a humble resident like me. What is your name, flower of the field?" he asked her. She, suspicious of his sudden interest, replied, carefully stepping away. "Ana, sirs," she said, and began to walk away. He surrounded her, full of interest in his gaze. Frightened by the Lord's insistence on following her, she said, "What do you want, sir? I do not know you, and I am not used to talking to strangers." Realizing that it would not be an easy conquest, he decided to introduce himself. "I am Lord Carlos Silva, owner of these lands. I became very interested in you, and would like to get to know you better. Sir, I am honored by your interest, but I am not the type of woman who lets herself be seduced by adventurous men. I am a family girl, and I demand respect," she said angrily. Upon hearing her response, he laughed disdainfully, saying, "There has never been a woman I couldn't conquer, and I believe you will not be the first, Anna." She then said to him, "Well, I will prove to you that I will be Lord Carlos." When she finished speaking, she turned her back and left. From that day on, conquering Anna became an obsession for Lord Carlos. He tried various means to seduce her. He sent her rare flowers, wrote her letters full of poetry, and even bought fine fabrics and shiny jewels, hoping that such gifts would captivate her. Seeing that none of this had any effect, he decided to change his tactics. He went to the simple house where she lived, carrying a bouquet of flowers. When she opened the door, he said, "I brought these flowers as a humble tribute to your beauty. May they bring joy to your heart, just as your presence lights up the village fields." However, although enchanted by the beautiful flowers he gave her, she replied, "My lord, your gestures are generous, but I cannot accept such gifts. My life is simple, and the luxuries you have offered me several times are too precious for my condition." It was then that fate, with its unpredictable whims, cast a shadow over Anna's tranquil life. Her mother, an elderly lady, began to feel very ill. Anna tried everything within her reach to cure the poor lady, but nothing she had could heal her. She then learned that in the village there was a man who claimed to be a doctor and charged for the consultation. Anna gathered the few coins available for payment and took her mother to be examined. After a careful examination, the doctor determined that her mother needed a specific treatment to combat the state of weakness she was in. "I'm sorry, but without these medicines I am prescribing, your mother's improvement will be impossible," the doctor stated, looking with pity at the two. Anna was shocked by the news. She did not know what to do. as they were very poor and had no way to buy and bring the medicines from elsewhere. With no one to turn to, she remembered the Lord, as he would be the only one who could help her. Gathering her courage, she went to the castle and asked to speak with him. Surprised by her visit, he asked, "What happened, Anna?" In tears, she replied, "My mother, she is sick, Lord Carlos. The doctor says we need expensive treatments, but we have no means to pay for them." Desperate, she felt cornered by the cruel irony of fate. It was then that the Lord, perceiving her distress, offered her a tempting proposal, though tainted by the shadow of morality. "Anna, stop crying and listen to me. I can help you. Allow me to ease your burdens. Be mine for one night." With a heavy and reluctant heart, Anna accepted the Lord's offer, knowing it was the only way to save her beloved mother. Indeed, she promised and fulfilled her part of the deal. That night, she would give herself to the Lord, in a mix of resignation and despair. He, upon entering the room where she awaited him, showed a smile of pleasure and satisfaction at being able to fulfill all his most intimate desires. For an entire night, she let herself be caressed, kissed, and allowed all the most passionate instincts of the Lord. When dawn broke, she took the small bag of coins he gave her and left. Arriving at her home, Anna felt an intense shame for having allowed the Lord to take her in his arms and kiss her with so much desire. However, she knew that if she did not give in to his whims, she would have no way to save her mother. With herself, she thought it was a deal, then. But this night will not change what I feel for him. However, things did not go exactly as she thought, my dear friends. That afternoon, Carlos sent a cart of food to Anna's house as nutritional support for her mother. On the third day, her mother was already showing visible signs of improvement, and Lord Carlos went to visit her. He was pleased to see that the lady was responding well to the medication and food. As he left the house, he asked Anna, "Anna, I would like to know if you miss me? Life is full of surprises, isn't it, my dear friends?" She, after the shame, began to recall the pleasurable moments with Carlos and wished to have another night with him. However, faced with the question, she replied, "No, I know that our relationship was just the fulfillment of an agreement. You paid, and I fulfilled my part." He looked into her eyes and said to her, "That night I found more than fleeting pleasure. I found the light that illuminates my dark life." She looked at him surprised. He continued speaking, "I want you other times, Anna. One night is too little for what I am feeling for you. I know that now your mother is recovering and you will no longer need financial help to give yourself to me." She looked at him and replied, "I would not give myself to you if my mother were not in need, Lord Carlos. I know, but despite your attempt to appear insensitive to my affections, I noticed that you also felt a perfect connection between us," he said. "True, my dear friends." At first, Anna gave herself to the Lord in exchange for the money received, but with his caresses and the contact of his lips on her skin, it awakened in her the pleasure of being with him that night. However, there before him, she remained without revealing her true feelings. "It's no use pretending you don't want me. I know you also desire me, Anna. Know that I will wait for you to come to me. When the longing becomes unbearable, you know where to find me." He finished speaking and left. Indeed, not long after, the longing for the Lord's caresses was so intense that Anna could not resist. She went looking for him. He, when he saw her, embraced her with love, saying, "I knew you would come to me, my love." My dear friends, that night the sky united with the earth and the moon smiled at the sea. The two lived the most sublime moment of love, while one surrendered to the other's feelings. After being ecstatic, they fell asleep in each other's arms. In the morning, when she woke up, she found Lord Carlos with the most beautiful smile she had ever seen, saying to her, "Will you marry me and never leave my bed, my love? I want to live all my nights by your side and together face all the challenges life has in store for us." She smiled and said, "Yes, I accept, my lord." As the dawn broke, when the first rays of the sun lit up the sky, the Lord declared his love. Days later, The castle of Lord Carlos Silva opened its doors for the grand wedding celebration between Carlos and Ana. And so, in the cunning plots of love, another couple surrendered to passion in an unexpected way. Who can say that love is not indeed surprising? Well, I won't say. I await you in the next story, and if you liked it, don't forget to like and comment.